And we're so happy to have Linda back with us tonight. Woo!
Yes, Linda, welcome back. Welcome back.
Tonight we're blessed to be able to do Sister Chatty Chat. We're going to be doing Sister Chat tonight, and we love Sister Chat because we get to chat about different topics that is going on in the world or going on in the church, going on in our lives with friends, relationship, and all. So tonight, if you have a topic or you want to join in the conversation, put your questions at the bottom of the page, okay? So we're going to start off with Philippians 1:6. And my short version of Philippians 1:6 says, finish what you start. A lot of times we start projects, we don't finish them. We start on things that need to be finished and we don't finish them. And then we wonder what happened. But Philippians 1 says, keep working. Finish whatever you start until Jesus called you home, okay? So tonight we're going to open it up for a sister chat, okay? So who wants to chat first? What's going on with you girls tonight? What's been happening with you girls?
Well, let's talk about the weather.
I finally thought out.
Did you thaw out?
I thought it out.
You did? Did you have water, electricity, or what?
We were without power, and I didn't know I could make it in 0 degrees. I had no idea.
Did you stay at home without the power?
I was at home without the power.
Wasn't it cold in the house?
Yes.
It was breezy in the house. They have a hotel in one of these countries. They have this hotel called the Ice Hotel, and the bed is made out of ice. Everything's made out of ice. I saw it on the Travel Channel. I don't know if I want to go there now. I did it first. I done changed my mind. I've already experienced it.
And it was cold, y'all. It was cold. It was so cold.
It was freezing.
It was ice cold.
It was. And at my house, I was up to 48 degrees. We had the fireplace going in, and it was still cold. And and Darius had electricity, so we ended up packing up over there. And Emmanuel, I thought he was like Santa Claus. He had 2 big old bags, and he was ready to go. And we cooked, but we had a good time. So it was just cold.
Mm-hmm. I didn't anticipate it being, when they said, what is it, rollover, rolling blackouts.
Do you think it was going to be that lengthy?
How many days were you without electricity?
Till that Thursday evening.
Mine went off Monday night, Monday at 2:00.
And I didn't realize I didn't sleep any of that time because I slept all day Friday and all day Saturday. Mm-hmm. So sitting upright in the chair, even though I had the blankets on, my girl from DC, Dorla was like, girl, get your put on some more clothes, get your blankets and wrap up. Mm-hmm. And although we have a gas fireplace, honey, that joker didn't put out no heat. It's cold out there. I ain't coming out. That gas fireplace said, you on your own, boo. I literally took my chair that I had and put it up to the little metal thing in front of it.
Right. I still didn't do no good. We moved our sofa in front of the fireplace, but the back of us was still cold because, like you said, breezy. The back side was cold, but the front side was hot. We all on the floor. We was everywhere in the house trying to stay warm. But like you said, that fireplace said, look, this is all I'm going to do for you. You going to have to do. We had blankets and everything. Couldn't find food. I mean, McDonald's, and I think we found McDonald's one time, which I don't really like McDonald's that much. Whataburger is my favorite restaurant. They were closed. We did Jack in the Box. They had lines all out in the streets trying to get food. It was just horrible. Those 4 days made me really appreciate whatever day I wake up now. I try not to complain.
I was just glad. Oh, go ahead, Linda.
Oh no, go ahead. I was just I was so disheartened. It is unbelievable because in our apartment, we're supposed to have the generators. Now, we're supposed to have those generators, they're supposed to automatically come on when your lights come. So I'm thinking, well, hell, maybe I forget to pay the electric bill, because the length of time that the lights was off, I'm like, well, maybe so I called. And they said I was good.
She said she called them to see.
Yes, to make sure, because sometimes
AARP make you forget to pay your light bill.
And they didn't even tell you that. They didn't even have the nerve to tell you, well, your light's not going to be on at all. They didn't say that, did you? They just hung up and said, oh, you pay, you fine.
You good. But the thing is that,
that's crazy.
Where I live, there's a lot of elderly people.
Yeah, that's
right on oxygen and all this. So you know, it was horrible. I'm gonna be honest with you. It was horrible.
It was.
One time we stayed off, I think it was 16, 17 hours.
Yeah.
Then it came back on, and they let us get accustomed to heat and cut it and slammed us off again. And that was another 16. And then last time they hit us in the morning time, you know, because you think, oh, okay, we good now. Darn. If they did not cut us off. And I'm like, Lord, what is going on? What you trying to tell us? And I'm thinking that God is trying to tell us, be patient. You know, we didn't have any other choice but to be patient. And then you think about the homeless people that was out there.
Ooh.
You know, they do
I ain't
this
trying to be
every
funny.
day.
My mind was too frozen to think about anybody else.
And
I ain't think about nobody. Sorry, y'all. My mind was frozen on
That's Kimberly.
ice.
She
I
had
didn't think
that
about nobody.
freeze
Sorry,
burn.
that's it.
Oh, Kimberly, I was thinking about the homeless people. I said, Lord, and you know, it's sad when you talking and you can see smoke coming from your
Oh, now that's
Like,
cold. That's
is
Minnesota weather.
Well, we had Minnesota weather, and my aunt Minnie called. She said, "Well, y'all should be okay." She said, "Cause it's always like that here." I say, Minnie, you have to realize we're not federal regulated.
Thank you for that.
We're state regulated. I said, "There's a difference." She said, "Because it's no way." My aunt said, "There's no way in," you know, cause she cursed.
Go ahead, let us see.
Let us see it.
Let us hear what she said. What she really
people
say?
cursing
What did she
Jimmy.
really say?
She said, "There's no way in hell that y'all should be doing that. And who is your governor?" And I'm like, "Hey, man, what you gonna do? Call him?"
She
He
probably
already
would have.
trying. He's already trying to help fix the problem, you know. And he did. I have to give it to him. He was very.
He was upset too, you
he
know
truly
about
was. But that's a learning experience that I
It
don't
was.
ever want to go. I even called Lowe's. You know how you had those heaters?
it. Yeah.
I
The generators.
I
What?
wanted to find out if they had heaters that use batteries.
Oh, that's a good idea.
You know, so
Did they have any?
they had them, but you had to use electrical.
No, that wasn't gonna help either.
So that was a waste of time. But I will be prepared, God willing. I hope this don't happen again.
I hope not.
No,
either.
ma'am.
That
But
was
you know,
terrible.
I will say this. I was telling my girlfriend what happened. I said, you know, the size of the house, they did let at 16 hour. At the 16th hour, they allowed it to come on, but it didn't have time to warm
right.
The house.
the house
Mm-hmm.
because by the time it come on, the thermostat had to calibrate
Right.
and do all that. So that 20 minutes was gone. So actually,
Right.
I guess it was just a tease.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there was one moment where I just thank God for the angels. I said, whatever the angels have to do, warm the
Yes.
house. Y'all got
Yes.
wings, do what y'all need to
Yes.
do.
Right.
And I was telling my girlfriend about it. She said, you know, Kimberly, that was a miracle that you didn't freeze because Keith had to work, period. They wanted them at work. They needed to get on their one horse sleigh and slide down.
Are
to
you
where
serious?
They had to be there. So
Oh,
he had
my
to leave,
Lord.
warm up the truck early, of course,
Uh-huh.
and slide on. Some of the people had to come from Waxahachie.
Oh,
Wow.
Lord.
Their team had to be there, essential workers.
Oh.
But I started singing, there was power in the blood of Jesus. Y'all remember
Right.
that?
Right.
There was
love it.
power, power, wonder working power in the blood of the Lamb. There is power, power, wonder working power in the precious blood of the Lamb.
That's
And
awesome.
I sang that song.
Isn't it?
Wow.
I sang that song and it felt like it was warm because I told my girlfriend, I said, I should be freezing.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
My nose, my hands,
Mm-hmm.
and in the house because it's like 3,500 square feet. So it should have been.
Right.
Cold.
And I was like cold because there was no
Cold,
way
yeah.
16 hours
Right.
and that 20 minutes and that was it. Then another 16
Right.
hours
Yeah.
plus.
Yeah.
I stopped counting after that. And after I sang that song, I know the peace of God just came in.
Mm-hmm.
And there was
That's
just
awesome.
because that type of cold should numb you.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
You should be numb to it.
Yeah.
And I just thank God that He gave me that song to sing. She said,
Amen.
Kimberly, that's a miracle.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
she didn't know where she was in Dallas, they were fine. She said, girl, I didn't know that. She said, we should have came over. I said, okay, you want me to slide to your house? That didn't make sense. I was gonna slide to your house to be warm. That didn't make sense. That's a 40-minute ride. But I'm now I'm in a ditch and can't nobody come get me. That didn't make sense.
Cold in the car.
Then you run out of gas.
Yeah.
Right.
But I thank God for that moment. She said, that's a miracle. And I was like, you know
It
what?
actually
was. Because the Bible said there was light in the land of Goshen.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There was light in the land of Goshen, even though, you know, the wickedness was around.
That's
right.
And I just sat there at that fireplace. I'm talking about y'all out. The gas kept saying, don't get no closer. We not. I mean, I was up sitting to the little gate like this. It didn't even try to burn. You know, it said don't put your little flannel blanket too close because the flame is. We ain't burning your blanket, baby. We ain't giving you nothing. And I just thank God for that, you know, because you had to quiet your mind. To me, if I didn't. And my husband's like, don't open the drapes because the wind will come in. I said, honey, if I sit here, I'll be in the dark 24 hours a day without knowing when the light actually came. So I had to pull the drape back so I could kind of know that it was daylight.
Right. Right.
And he come home and he freezing. Even though they were in the garage, it was still cold in the garage. Mm-hmm.
You know, and see, we didn't have no electricity, period. When it went off, it didn't come back on till Thursday around 4 something. We didn't have
I
no
think you was
electricity.
Friday. I thought you was after me.
Mine came back on Thursday around 4 something.
Uh-huh.
No, about 3:30 stayed on. We was all excited because we had just gotten back from getting something to eat. My neighbor was calling me. Soon we getting high, we excited. Bam, 15 minutes stayed on, went back off. We said, oh no, please. Then it came back on because they was down the streets working. Uncle, we saw them down the street. We really got excited. I was like, oh, they working on the light, they working on the light. And it stayed on, it's been on ever since, but it was just cold. We had water because we kept the water just running. You know, like a little small stream, but we had water. Mm-hmm. But it's still some people now that still does not have water.
Right.
You know, and that's sad. And I was listen to the TV, Mississippi. I felt so far sorry for them because there's been people there for 10, 15 days with no water.
Ooh.
And they was talking about that. And, you know, and one, Alicia didn't have water, I think, for almost 10 days. She still didn't have water yesterday. You know, and then Kathy and Chris didn't have any water or lights for a while. They was off. They didn't. Then the water came on. They didn't have hot water. So you know, a lot of those apartment people in Dallas didn't have. They still don't have water. So they brought in those potty things for them to use it outside. You know, so a lot of people are so angry right now. And I'm pretty sure some of you all watching the show are angry because you had to experience this. Then they talking about the electricity going up high. And that will piss a lot of people off because you cut the thing off and then you're going to charge us electricity. So you all write down at the bottom of the screen how you was feeling about this here electricity being off, you know. And I know some of you all probably did curse. Some of y'all called the electric company. Some of you all done went off on.
I'm gonna be honest.
I did too. I called them too. And they just told me the same
praising
thing.
God at the same time.
But the Bible said, how can bitter and sweet come out the same fossil light?
Okay, get frozen and you'll figure it out. Get frozen and you'll figure it out.
I mean, come on.
You're going to figure out how the bitter and sweet come through the fossil light.
Oh,
see, that's just like my neighbors. I don't know, someone decided to tell her upstairs neighbor to run his water, and he decided he had to go to work, so he was running his water in the bathroom in his tub. It flooded his apartment and it trickled down to Diane's apartment, and she said, I don't have no electricity. She said, and now I have a swimming pool. And she was upset. She said if he was at home, she said I would go up there and I would whoop his, you know what. She was angry because she was cold, which I can understand.
And then water.
And she called the fire department. They came over and she said, they said, well, we're gonna cut the electricity off. She said, what electricity? You know,
we don't have no electricity.
So, but it's a mind-boggling thing to be helpless.
Yes, and they had control of us. It was like a control thing.
And they didn't roll it.
Yes.
They didn't care whoever this person was that had the power.
Right.
Didn't think enough of our lives as a whole.
Right.
To roll it like even if you rolled it the way you said you were gonna roll,
Right.
Because I heard in North Dallas over there in a certain part of town, they didn't have any problems. And then you on the news, somebody said that they were showing, and I saw that when the lights came on, they were showing downtown Dallas all the office buildings with the lights on.
And Fort Worth was downtown too. They talked about that. They said, well, how is it that they got all these lights on these businesses and stuff downtown? Why don't they cut those off? But the thing that really got me, they cut it off knowing that it was going to be cold. And then we saw on the news where some of the people, one older person died in his recliner. He froze to death.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
And the baby died in the bed. 2 of the kids died in the bed, frozen.
It's a miracle.
You know, that's the sad part, because you're going to cut the electricity off. And then was another thing, some down the street had electricity, never cut off. But here's 900 some people in our community that didn't have lights at all. But on the other side of the street, they had lights and water. And then they said, well, if you close to a firehouse or a hospital or something like that, then your lights weren't gonna be cut off. What? So they had control. Yeah, they were saying they had control of the lights. And then they're gonna come back and say, well, if we hadn't did all this, it would have been a blackout and you all would have been out of it for a month.
Now is the time we need about 1 million people in the streets marching. We need to find these people.
Yeah.
Whoever they are, they need to be found.
A lot
we're
of
gonna
them
find them in the
resigned.
Twitter now. They still need to march. And the streets need to be filled.
Yeah.
Trying to find these people,
And
because
that's
this is
what the governor was
crazy.
mad about.
This
Because
is
you know, a lot of them are
crazy.
suing them now. Now they talking about they going bankrupt and all this stuff. That's on the news, you know, but it makes you mad because people have lost their babies.
Their lives.
Yeah. And
Their
then you had
homes.
people that was pregnant. One lady was on TV talking about she was pregnant, didn't have no water, didn't have no electricity. Finally, that came up. You know, these people, and they still don't have water.
One lady told me that that first week it was difficult for her to go back to sleep because she was afraid that she would wake up and there would be no electricity.
Right. I was
Can
like
you
that.
imagine how that
I
messed
was
with
like
you
that, really.
mentally?
I was scared the first
Some
time
people
when
may
we
need
went to bed
counseling.
that night. Usually my cable, you know, it have the little lights on. I said, oh, I got cable and I got this other little light that's on my thing. I was waking up through the night doing this, checking to see if my cable light was on or checking to see if the fan was still going or something. And that first night, it just really, my husband, I was sitting there talking, and the thing went like this. The TV was changing. You know how it flashed or something is changing.
Right.
I'm thinking it was the lights going off. He said, did you see that flicker? I said, baby, I think that was the commercial, but it did scare both of us because we were sitting up there thinking about that, you know. But, you know, even when I was thinking about when we was living in the country, you know, when the lights would go off, you would put the candles in, but we had those little gas, you know, those kerosene lamps.
Right.
And it was like a different, I've never experienced this kind of cold in my life.
Yes.
This was a cold that even Minnesota cold, that was cold, but this was even cold to me.
This was Alaska.
No, this was like Indiana cold.
No, Alaska.
They go straight to your bones
Yeah.
and then they say, okay, let me sit here for a minute and see how you feel. That's how I was feeling, you know. And you think about, you know, I ain't even want to think about it again.
And then the pipes that burst and the people's homes and furniture and churches that were flooded. Their resource areas where they have supplies for people
And the
were
schools,
damaged.
The schools was really flooded. And I was looking at this one thing where the whole ceiling came out in this bump. Oh, she had a beautiful home. And you could see all this water just coming down.
You see all that water coming in every room of her home.
Yeah, her home.
And you're looking, I'm like, what? Who built your house, lady?
But I
It
was
doesn't
asking,
have anything to do with that.
yeah,
you
and
know.
I think they put the pipes up in the attic now or something, because I was asking my husband. He said, yeah, some of them are putting the pipes in the attic. I said, well, do we have pipes in our attic? He said, no, baby, our house was built back in the 80s.
Yeah.
So some those new homes
But we
are putting
have
pipes
pipes in our
And y'all
apartments
up in the attic.
because I can hear the water running.
Yeah.
Running down
And that's
the
what
side of the
happens
wall,
when they
but
burst like that.
still.
They just automatically tear down the ceiling, and that's going to cost a lot of money.
Mhm.
And FEMA is asking people, I guess, for do they have insurance or all this stuff? They want you to go to your insurance company, and it's going to cost. It's going to be really.
It's unnecessary.
It's going to cost a lot of money.
I can't see how it was necessary.
And
for
some
them to do
people
what they
lost
did.
food, but at least the food people, the food stamp people are giving people credit if they lost their food. they did send out a message. You can call 211 and tell them.
And then you have us in a pandemic. Then you put us in a freeze-demic.
Yeah.
Freeze-demic
Yeah.
and pandemic. Then you're telling us not to be close.
Right.
But people are having to go to other people's houses and go to hotels.
Right.
I mean,
And then
like,
some of the hotels, they said didn't have
charges.
electricity.
and then they up
then they-
$900.
You
A
know,
night.
that's sad.
Come on.
That is so sad that they take this, you know. Then you couldn't find gas because people was panicking on the gas. You know, everybody panicked. You go into the food grocery store, they said there was no groceries, you know.
No, that's true.
People
'Cause I went
panic
to
when things
Walmart,
happen. Yeah.
And you walking down these aisles and you thinking that they just coming into business because all the shelves
It was empty.
They was empty.
And then they throwed away a lot of food because of government regulation. You can't keep the food.
Right.
So some people was going out there in those what you call them containers that they were getting. They said some people were going getting the food out of the container because
It was
they were
froze.
just-
It
it
probably froze when he got
it
when
probably
he got
was, you know, that they had. But it was just so much. And you be wondering what's going on in the world today. How people panic so quickly, you know. They panic because they panic. We all panic. And some I'm walking around wasn't even worried about certain things, and then you see, oh my God, there's no food on the shelves.
Mhm.
And you know, you wonder, do we have enough food to cover our families during this time, you know?
Well, it's not like you could cook it. I mean,
You couldn't
Right,
cook
yeah,
it.
'cause I had
You
no
know, that's
idea.
right. I hadn't thought about that. People run to the grocery store.
they
You
went to
can't
the
cook
grocery
it.
store, but you can't cook the food because of the way they was doing our electricity, you know. And I think it's you know, it's one area that they said their lights didn't
Go on.
never turn off. And then my question was, why?
And then they
That's
talked
my
about
question,
that too.
too.
They said that some areas, like in the rich area, and they was talking about this on the news too. They were mentioning some of the areas in the rich area, they never did lose their power.
Right.
Like some of these places, Plano and all them, some of those people were saying
right.
Preston.
that they never lost their power. But then when they looked in the lower, the lower areas,
They didn't have power.
they didn't have power. Like,
Right.
you know, so it's like, is this discrimination or what? You know, you be wondering, why are they doing these things? What's going on? You know,
Who are these people that felt that they needed to do that, and then you quit and you don't face it? Why you quitting? Why are you
Yeah.
resigning?
why and they resigning left and right. You see it.
Yes,
every
I
they
just
are.
need
minute.
their names.
Some
we
people
still
is
need their
resigning
names.
from.
Kim said, get the names.
Get the names.
They put them on there.
Get
You
their
know, I just
names.
didn't have chance to take them. You know, so but it's just so
Wow.
much going on, and I be praying for the president, the vice president. I say it seems like soon they get in office, all this stuff is just happening. You know, and they trying to fix it. They trying to keep the world going because you got a lot of people are still losing their jobs because of the pandemic. They can't open up. Now they talking about the electricity is gonna put a lot of people out because they raising the electricity up.
You just talking about in Texas.
Yeah, you know, they said the electricity and some of these businesses was up $9,000 or $100,000. They was
One
talking
guy
about
got a
that
bill for $16,000
$1,000 for his
But
electricity.
There's different electricity.
'Cause they were
the way they
businesses.
was talking, it's like a variable,
Yeah.
or you can have a fix and it's another one.
Yeah,
So
And the
if
businesses.
you got the variable, I think they said that's the one that can go up
Up
and
or down.
Up or down.
Yeah,
Yes. But
But-
if you fix on a fixed rate,
it stays.
It stays.
But it's most of the people that's getting hit are the businesses.
Yeah.
Because those businesses are getting hit with these $9,000, $10,000, $100,000 bill because they got all these different businesses running, and they was talking about, you know, they going out of business now because they can't pay the light bill. So government is trying to work out something with that. You know, it's just so much. Now some of the counties, some of them are saying that they're not even charging people for the electricity.
Well, see, that's good.
You know, somebody was telling me that they called. Oh, I think it was somebody my pastor was talking about too, and they said that when he called to pay his light bill, said they told him you don't have no light bill. He said, yeah. He said, no, we covering that. So I hope they do that with
I
me.
hope they do that with me.
Saying that they didn't even charge him. So you know it's gonna be good and bad, but as a Christian, we still have to have faith in God that He's gonna bring
Mhm.
us through. And I think that's what kept me going was I was like, okay, Lord, I know you're gonna bring us through this, but I want you to hurry up and bring us through it because it is cold in this house.
You know, I was telling my girlfriend, that's funny that you should say, hurry up, Lord. And I said, girl, it's a process. And she was like, huh? I said, it's going to always be a process. So you have to decide whether or not you want to go through the process. You know, when we just do stuff that we know we shouldn't do. I said, did you ever think about when, who was that left Pharaoh? When the Egyptians left, who was that left Pharaoh? I don't forget, y'all. When they left, who was that? The Israelites? Who was that leaving, right? When they left Pharaoh, they had to walk.
Yeah.
There's
Are
a
you
process.
talking about when Moses was bringing them out? Or what?
Yeah, they had to walk.
Yeah, Moses,
they didn't walk fast because they was children and camels.
There was a million of them there. Yeah.
So there was a process.
Yeah,
and even though Pharaoh and them was on horses, giddy up, and for some reason Moses' horses weren't going fast. So was that just the TV show? Whatever he had, didn't move fast.
See, he couldn't go fast because too he had those animals. He had the older people,
right?
And the children.
And that's what I'm saying. It's a process,
right? It was a process for them to get there.
To get to that sea, and even when they got to that sea, it's, you know, God had to wait till all of them got there.
Yeah.
So that process of getting there took some time.
Right.
But for some reason, the devil's horses was fast.
Yeah. But then there's somehow the devil could get that quicker than you.
I mean, they was galloping. They was galloping.
God already has the plan
on our
ahead,
process, moving along. And then the Red Sea, you get to the Red Sea, and Moses be like, okay, all I got is this wood. I'm like, what's up there? God, the horses are coming. The horses are coming.
What am I gonna do now?
And then that sea open up all like this. Yeah. Like, God, can you do it faster? It's a process.
Well, remember they had to hold Moses' arm up. And
because he was tired. He was tired. He was tired. But just that process, that was a process that we had to go through. Even though we were angry, frustrated, calling, screaming, it was still a process.
And you know, they started murmuring, why'd you bring us out here to die? You know, and all this here. Yeah. And some of us probably were complaining too about, God, why you got us in this cold? You know, Carlos preached on that, talked about that in Sunday school, said we want to blame God for everything. You know,
we never blame Satan. Isn't that something? We never blame Satan.
Yeah.
We never say it's Satan. We always say it's God.
Why God?
Why we never blame Satan?
Yeah.
We never just.
That's a good question.
It's always God. You did this. It's never okay, Satan.
And Satan is the author of confusion. He's the author
in
of
every evil work.
Right.
But we don't say
we don't ever say, all right, Satan.
Back, but you know my boss took me. She said, get back, Satan. Not today, Satan. She'll say that quick. She'll say, not today, Satan. You know, and that is so quick because the first thing we going through this stuff, and Carlos brought out a good point.
What did he say? What Carlos say?
He said he said on the sign, Carlos, you want to call in and tell us exactly.
We know you out there.
But he preached a good sermon on that. Well, it wasn't a sermon. He was doing a Sunday school lesson on that, you know, about that. You want to tell us about that, Carlos? Carlos.
What
Carlos
you say?
is our man of the hour that helps us when we get stuck.
He's the man of wisdom.
Yeah, come on, Carlos. What was that you said, Carlos?
Doing.
Oh, good. Doing good. Hey, Carlos.
What you want to know?
You know the part where you were saying about the van when you saw the sign and God told you?
Oh, yeah. Oh, when I was taking this lady to Walmart, and the van it's a pretty big van because you know it had to be wheelchair accessible and like that, and I didn't want to park it in a regular parking spot, so I was like, well, I could just park on the side of Walmart, you know, where the fire truck and stuff park when they have to come get groceries and stuff like that. I was like, I could park there, and I was sitting there and I looked at the sign. The sign said no parking, and it said you'll be towed. And I was like, but at the same time, like, I don't want to park in a regular parking spot. So I was sitting there looking at the sign. I was like, should I park here or not? And I was talking to God, and God said, I was telling God, like, hey, should I park here or not? He was like, all right. So if you park here and you go in that building and you come back out and this van is gone, what you gonna do? He said, I'm gonna tell you what you're gonna do. You're gonna blame me. He said, you're gonna walk out here and blame me, and you're gonna say, God, why didn't you tell me this was gonna happen?
Yeah.
You knew it was gonna happen. Why'd you tell me? I wouldn't have parked here if you told me. And he said, I did tell you. It's right there on the sign. It's like, I don't have to speak to you. It's like the signs is everywhere. It was like, but us as people, we see, we don't think. You know what I'm saying? We take things and sometimes we read too much into them and sometimes we don't. So the sign sitting there saying that you will be told, we don't think like, this is God's sign.
Yep.
No, it is his sign.
Right.
Yep.
It's just,
That's right.
you know what I'm saying? It's just something simple. We always want to think a lot. You know, we always want to think
That's
that
what somebody
God's
else.
going to speak to us and rolling thunder going to come down, clouds going to move and stuff like that. That's what we think.
Right.
But sometimes it's really simple. And we blame God for stuff that we do.
Yeah, right.
Like, that's not God's fault that I parked there, and if it would have got towed, that's not God's fault. That's my fault.
It's your
Right.
fault.
And we blame
That's
God for
true.
stuff that we put ourselves in.
Yes, we
you
do.
know,
Yes,
and-
we do.
Like you said, and vice versa. We blame the devil for stuff that God did.
Yeah.
No, the devil,
you're right.
the devil had nothing to do with this. This is God trying
God
to show
did
you
it.
something. You know what I'm saying?
That's
like,
good. That's good.
and as far as like with the license stuff being cut off, you know, we will blame God or we'll blame the devil. No, us as people, we have free will.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think about this all the time. Like if I'm sitting here talking to y'all, if I'm sitting up there talking to y'all and I'm like, and I just haul off and hit one of y'all, or slap one of y'all or something like that, are y'all gonna blame God or the devil? No, it was my fault.
Yeah.
I chose to do that
Let
to
her
you.
say she gonna whoop you.
Exactly. So and then if she hit me back, is that God or the devil? No, it's
No,
us.
it
We
just-
have
We
free
did that. That's right.
That's me.
Yeah, that's true.
we have free will
Yeah.
to do stuff. That's
We do.
that's
We
so
do.
so good about God is that we have free will.
That's right. He does.
Like we can do whatever we want to. So it's not always God and it's not always the devil. We make our own
We
decisions.
decisions.
do. We
We
are.
have our own choices.
Mhm.
And if we make a choice that'll put us in bad situations, it's
We
just
need
us.
to be responsible.
Yeah, we
for
have
it.
to.
That's true.
That's
because
right.
that us is like I love when you talk about Adam and Eve because you said it always goes back to them.
Uh-huh.
Because what did Adam do? Hey, it's this woman you gave me.
That's right.
Once he said that, Eve said no, it was the serpent.
But we all blame each other. That's right.
That's what we
Blaming
do. We
game.
want to point fingers instead of looking at ourselves because it's hard to look at ourselves
Right.
because we don't want to really change.
Mhm.
We really want to stay where we are. We want people to baby us and keep us where we are. Accept me for who I am. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm not accepting that. Change this
That's right.
That's right. That's
because
right. That's
you
right.
you are better than that, and you deserve better than that, and the people around you deserve better. The people around us deserve the best version of us. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't deserve the person that we, that we're trying to change from. That's why it bothers me when I hear people, well, I'm a Gemini, that's how we act.
Yeah. Oh,
Well,
yeah.
I'm a Virgo, that's how we act. No, you just a crappy person.
Yep.
It has nothing to do with that.
Patty.
And
we
I'm
gotta
not saying,
blame somebody. For
yeah,
it.
you always want to blame something. I'm not saying
blame
that.
you, London.
I'm not saying that zodiac signs. You know what I'm saying?
Look in the
Of
mirror.
course, zodiac
Don't
signs serve
change
a
it. Don't
purpose.
change it. You say no. You
You
they don't
good.
serve no purpose. You're right. Say what you say.
They of course they serve a purpose,
Mm-mm.
but the purpose that we think they serve is how we are. No, you have a choice to be who you are, and you can't blame nobody else for it.
That's good.
That's good.
All right, good, good.
there
Thank
was-
you, Carlos. That's
There was
good.
a 18-wheeler in front of a church, and it said, "If you're looking for a sign from God, here it is." It was cute. Come to church.
Oh,
If you're looking for a sign from God, here it is.
here it is, right here.
There's a big 18-wheeler
Uh-huh.
outside, and that was a sign.
Right.
Come to church.
Come to church.
He said, if you're looking for a sign, here it is.
Here it is, right
Everybody's
there.
always looking for, I like what you said, that everybody's always looking for a sign.
Fine. Yeah. All right, that was good on Sister
was
Chat.
good,
And
Carlos.
again, like I said, give us your views on how you felt about being in the freeze and the storm, and how did you deal with it at that time. So put it at the bottom of the screen, and we will love for you to put your thoughts and mind on how you dealt with that. But before we close, we got to have our fashion show by Kimberly.
Yes.
All right, Kimberly.
Woohoo, woohoo.
And then while Kimberly is getting ready, I want to give a shout out to Chastity for her charm. I love her lip gloss. It's
Yes.
awesome.
Yes.
And I put it on, and this is called Parfait.
Parfait.
And it is awesome. It just Oh, just,
You got to go slow, Elma.
Oh,
You have
yeah,
to go
slow.
slow. You got to
Oh.
perk those lips out.
Oh.
You know, like Halle Berry did it when she does her
And it even
Yeah.
smells
L'Oreal.
good. So check Charm by Chastity out. I think she's on her well page. I don't have it with me right now. But anyway, a shout out to you, Chastity. Okay, Kimberly, let's go for it, girl.
Let's do this. Okay, today
Oh, I like the
where's
jacket.
that
I do.
music? This is my Wonder Woman jacket from Zara.
Bam.
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 Wonder Woman, yes. And of course, my Anaheim mark, yes.
I like that.
Yes, yes.
I
think
love
this is
those
my
boots,
perfume
too.
shirt. And of course, y'all know I love my favorite boots all the time. Last time I think Emmanuel, he took out my little fashion show thing. He thought I didn't notice it. He took out my little fashion segment. I thought I had did something. And he just cut it right out the table. I said, ooh.
Don't forget his
Yes,
t-shirts.
and then we have our t-shirts that
This is
the
Kirk
boot,
Inspiration. Kirk Inspiration.
Kirk Inspiration. These are gorgeous.
Yeah.
They have inspirational messages on them that you can order. But look, I gotta make sure I can read it. And I know difficult words is it them.
No.
Emmanuel. For the wages of sin is death, but the gift of
Oh,
God
goodness,
is
Lee,
eternal
what?
life in Christ Jesus our Lord. And that is somewhere in the Bible. Seek and you shall find. And this is really pretty. It's a pretty color.
Ah,
Mhm.
Isn't that wine color?
Yes.
Inspire. The doves represent the Holy Spirit, I'm sure.
yes.
Yes.
One there.
Here's one more.
And this is a pretty gray one. Smoke gray. These are great with your jeans, especially if you like to wear the ripped jeans. And then you can even tie it, ladies.
Yes.
I'm sure he
it
has
would.
smaller
Yeah,
sizes.
those are nice.
Yes. Is there? Was that it?
Yeah, that's all.
That's it. So yeah.
Thank you.
What you call it again?
Kirk Inspiration.
Kirk Inspiration. The Kirk booth. Okay. Check us
Did you
out.
say
Check
anything
us
about
out.
your bag?
Oh, my bag. It is my Anaheim mark. It is a reflective bag. And of course, it is a whimsical bag. Again, y'all, I like whimsical bags. Yes. And when it's in
Bam.
the light, it reflects. Like you have the arrow on the highway telling you to get off,
Right.
get off, get off, get off.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, I like whimsical stuff, y'all.
Thank you, Kimberly. And each one of those t-shirts, Emmanuel Kirkwood designed those shirts personally.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Those are not copy shirts. Those are shirts that God has inspired him to put together. So please check us out
Check us
at
out.
www.thekirkbooth.com and we're going to get that going for him. Please check us out every Monday and Thursday with the Talk of Life Talk Show with Elma, Kimberly, and Linda. May God bless you and keep you until
care.
we see you win face to face. Woo!